Should I upgrade my trusted Fujifilm X-T3 this year? With the X-T5 just out, there might be an abundance of X-T4s on the used market, so it might make sense to make a deal, even if I don't want to get the newer model. But is it the right choice for me? In the last video I shared a list of best practices that I use to better evaluate the decision of upgrading my camera whenever I get a chance. So we're gonna use that, and we're gonna be looking at the Fujifilm X-T4 and the Fujifilm X-T5. Number one was image quality. And the question that I need to ask myself is, do you want to upgrade to take better photos? See, from the technical side of it, the X-T4 isn't really an upgrade in image quality over the X-T3 because they share the exact same sensor. While the X-T5 instead has a newer sensor with higher resolution. So from the technical side, its image quality is improved, and I've seen a lot of reviews that confirm it. But this point isn't strictly about the technical side, because a better image quality is very, very different than better photos. So the real question that I need to ask myself is, how much do you think that a newer sensor would improve your photography? And I'm actually perfectly fine with the quality that comes out of my X-T3, and I have not once thought that I couldn't reach a result or couldn't take a photo that I had in mind because of the limits of my camera, and I don't really think that I have outgrown its skills yet, if it makes sense. So in this case, we have a negative score for the X-T4 because it's not an upgrade, so it doesn't make any sense. And we have a neutral score for the X-T5 because it really is an upgrade, but it isn't an upgrade that I think I need. Number two was all about the use case and knowing the type of photography that you do and how you use a camera. As I'm sure you've heard before, if you've been watching a lot of photography related content, there is no thing such as a perfect camera for everybody. A new model might introduce some objective improvements from the technological side, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it is a better camera overall. What I mean is that a feature that might be a deal breaker for me might be just a minor feature for you. For example, for my use of a camera where I do mostly street photography and 90% of my photography is shot from chest height, a tilt screen is a deal breaker feature. While you might not even look at it when you're considering models of camera to buy. Believe it or not, the lack of a tilt screen is the reason why I didn't buy a Fujifilm X-T4 last year or whenever it is that it came out. I think that my appreciation for the tilt screen though is shared by many because Fujifilm actually went back to it on the X-T5. So that's a camera that will fit my use case. Other features that I really look into when I'm considering new cameras are weather resistance, which is a must for me, and not so much because I shoot in extreme conditions, because I don't think that I ever have, but because I do value the peace of mind of knowing that every piece of my setup can be used in every scenario. So I don't want to have to think, if I want to go out and it's raining, I don't want to have to think about what lenses I can use or what cameras I can use. Number two is weight and size. I always appreciated a more compact setup, and I am even willing to sacrifice a bit of image quality in order to save some space. And that's actually the reason why I don't ever plan to go full frame. So if there was a significant difference in weight or size to one of the two cameras that we're talking about, that would be a negative score. but in this case there is no significant difference in weight or size. They're all weather sealed, so the real difference in the use case that I can think of is the tilt screen. So it's a negative score for the X-T4 because I don't like, as I explained, the fully articulated screen, and it's a neutral score for the X-T5 because it actually has the same exact screen than my X-T3, so it can't be a reason for me to upgrade. It's not a plus. Number 3 in the list was drill down on the differences between the new camera that you're considering and the camera that you have. So let's get right into the spec sheet and see what features are in the X-T4 and the X-T5 and are not in my X-T3, and what impact would they do to my photography. And keep in mind that I'm going to ignore every video related feature because I am not a video maker and I am not considering to buy a new camera for videos. So in the case of the X-T4, that list would contain IBIS, better battery life, dedicated stills movie switch, and a better screen resolution. And thinking about these features, I think that the thing that I would welcome the most is the better battery life, because whenever I shoot videos, and I know I just said that I'm not a video maker, but I am making videos right now and I am using the X-T3, and this is the only case when I have to constantly be looking at the battery life, the battery indicator, because it really goes down quickly. It doesn't go down as quickly when I am out shooting photos, and I always have a spare battery, so it doesn't really make sense to upgrade to a camera because of the better battery, because I can be buying a new battery, a spare battery. So as for IBIS, yes, it is great, but I haven't missed it as much. I don't think that I have ever thought that I couldn't take a photo because I didn't have IBIS. So I don't know, maybe it's one of those features that when you have it, you know it has unlocked a lot of creative things, but from where I stand now and I don't have it, I am not missing it. And I have never thought, shit, I can't do this because I don't have IBIS. I really don't have any stabilization in my kit and I don't miss it. So I don't plan to upgrade because of IBIS. The lack of a still movie switch on my X-T3 is a bit of a pain, because whenever I have to switch between the two and go from shooting videos to shooting photos, it takes a bit of time, and because you have to reset every one of the settings. But I'm not switching that often, and I am not going to spend 1,000 euros to save 3 seconds once a week or twice a week. As for the X-T5, in addition to the features that the X-T4 has, we have a better autofocus and higher resolution. And as for higher resolution, my thoughts are very similar to what I think about IBIS. I don't have it, I don't need it, and I have never found myself in the position of needing it. And also with higher resolution come bigger files. So the way I see it is not really an improvement. But then again, I might get an X-T5 down the line and be very appreciative of the higher resolution files. But right now, I don't think that is a reason for me to upgrade. So for this point, both cameras score neutral, because there isn't really a plus, an element that makes me think, yeah, you need that camera. That is a reason for you to upgrade. Number 4 was, do you like your camera? And as I said in that video, I think that a camera that you like more is gonna get more use, and so it's ultimately gonna make you a better photographer. But I think we can all agree that the X-T3, the X-T4 and the X-T5 pretty much share the same looks, so there isn't any reason for me to think that if I had an X-T5 it would get more use than my X-T3. So neutral score for everyone in this case. So the final score is -2 for the X-T4 and 0 for the X-T5, meaning that there is absolutely no reason for me to upgrade to the X-T4, because for my photography and for the way I use a camera, it wouldn't actually be an improvement. And while the X-T5 makes sense for me and is a camera that I would enjoy using, the improvements are very marginal and I really can't justify the cost. Because I think that there are better ways to spend that money and improve my photography, such as expanding my lens kit, which is something that we actually don't think that often. The impact that the addition of a new lens can make on your photography is actually pretty more significant than what a new body might make. And another way to spend that money and improve my photography would be to go on a photography trip and take more photos. So that's it. My X-T3 is not gonna get an upgrade right now because I think that it's still a great camera. And let me know if this was helpful and if it has helped you decide whether or not to upgrade your camera. Until next time, happy shooting everybody.